Australian economy is in trouble and people are scared. Most economic downturns start with a boom that goes bust. This downturn starts not with a boom, but a whimper. The Reserve Bank has been cutting interest rates, trying to get employment up. GDP is weak and growth has already been trending down for years. And then the virus struck. So is the coronavirus, or fear of the coronavirus, pushing us into a recession, the first in almost 30 years? So that's how we start this crisis, with the only economic growth, besides government spending, coming from two things: population growth and exports. The exports largely go to China, and the people largely come from China, as students and tourists. China shut down in February to control the coronavirus, and everyone is nesting or staying home. So there's not much doubt the Australian economy will contract in this quarter, which we'll find out in early June. As for whether it's 2 quarters of contraction and therefore a recession, we'll find that out in September. But China does seem to be getting on top of the virus for now at huge economic cost, so it depends on what happens in the rest of the world. And on that score, Italy's decision to quarantine its entire population, 60 million people, is not a good sign. Financial markets are now pricing for a recession, a global one. The global oil price has halved, and the Australian share market has fallen 20%.
I think we're moving closer to the point where recession is inevitable. Growth will go backwards this quarter because of the hit to tourism and the education sector, and I think in the event of widespread containment measures for the disease, which are looking more and more likely, growth will almost certainly be going back for 2 quarters. The question then is, how deep is it going to go and how long is it going to go for?
Now in 2008-09, with the world heading into what we now call the GFC, the Reserve Bank of Australia cut interest rates 6 times in 9 months, from 7.25% to 3%. At the same time, 2 stimulus packages totalling $52 billion were announced. When this crisis hit, the starting point for the RBA cash rate was just 0.75%. Last week, the RBA cut by 0.25%, and basically the RBA now has one more shot in its locker.
This crisis has the potential to be bigger than the global financial crisis. We've seen overseas, shutting down schools, shutting down events, shutting down workforces could have a sizable impact on economic growth. We're going to be looking more to fiscal policy to do the heavy lifting to try and support the economy.
No one has ever before dealt with a recession caused by a virus, but it looks like the economic soft spot will be small business.
What I have noticed is a sharp decline in sales, and I think people are a little bit fearful. It could get much worse than it is now, so maybe I should be saving my pennies rather than spending.
Cash flow is drying up. Businesses running hand to mouth or carrying a lot of debt won't survive, and if they go bust, it's permanent. The Morrison government is now working on its own stimulus package, and the question won't only be whether it's enough, given its obsession with a surplus, but how do you fight a virus with a deficit?
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.